Hi everyone, welcome you all. In this video, I'm going to talk about the guide which I prepared for cloud migration. That is a step-by-step high-level guide that will help you to understand when you are going to perform on-prem to cloud migration, what are the key factors you need to consider. So first you need to understand the migration that you are going to talk about, like carried out. Means you are going to plan migration of servers, application, databases, storage, what kind of migration you are going to perform. So you need to understand the size, connectivity and the security while performing migration. Next thing, it will talk about the what you need to do at the start before migrating or preparing any plan. You need to understand your environment. For that you need to perform the discovery and assessment part, and you need to document that in detail. Next, you need to understand the migration strategy. That means you need to understand the objective, what you want to achieve. You need to understand the scope, what you are going to perform during the migration, and you need to decide the timeline as well, how long you want to take to perform this migration or how much time it will take for you. Next thing, you need to understand which cloud provider will be good for you based on your workload, but based on your vendors tie-up. Next, you need to understand the migration approach. So we are having different migration approach like lift and shift, replatform, refactor. That means you need to re-architect your application, or you can move to the repurchase thing. Like if you are running some exchange server, then you can directly go with the SaaS application, that is Office 365 for mail service and the collaboration. So this is thing you need to understand what you want to decommission or that you don't want to migrate. That also comes under this section. Next, you need to develop your detailed migration plan where you need to keep everything ready like discovery and assessment. Then you need to prepare the plan, migration approach and everything. Then you need to perform the validation and testing. Then it will go for the cutover. After this, you need to build your team to perform this migration. It's not the one person who can perform each and everything. You need to prepare a team for that one. Next thing, you need to assess the security measures in terms of identity, access or data. You need to consider everything. For that, we have different kind of security measures that we need to think of. Next thing, you need to check about the connectivity part. So are you going to plan this migration over the direct connectivity, over the VPN or over the peering? That you need to understand in terms of network connectivity. If we talk about the data migration, then you need to think about, are you going to perform or support this migration, support online migration, or you need to take the downtime, or it will be can be done with the combined approach. That thing you need to understand. When we are talking about the application migration, then you need to understand the compatibility, then you need to understand the performance after the migration, and also need to consider how you are going to monitor that application after the migration. Then you can follow some IAC approach that will help you to provision faster. It's kind of infrastructure provisioning, and it will help in terms of automation as well. Then you can think of implementing CI/CD pipeline that will help for software update quickly. So you need to think about everything like code commit, build, testing and deployment. So this comes under CI/CD pipeline. After that, you need to think about the monitoring and logging parts. That this is very critical for any organization after the migration. Then only you will be able to understand your migration performance, and then only you will be able to optimize to save some cost there. So as I mentioned, after monitoring and logging, you need to think about the cost optimization. You need to think about the right sizing. You need to think about where you can use the reserved instances or spot instances based on your workload running in the cloud. Then you need to perform some testing based on performance, and also you need to understand where is the bottleneck. Based on that, you need to take some action. After migration, we always need to think about the disaster recovery and business continuity plan. So we should have the regular backup. We should configure the replication to the backup side, and we need to always ready with the failover plan as well. Then these are the business related things like change management, training and skill development you need to think about. Then you need when we are going to the migration to the cloud, we also need to understand some compliance as well, because every client, every customer, their data having some that should follow some compliance. So we are having like for personal identity, we are having GDPR. For payment related thing, we are having PCI DSS, and then we are having for healthcare HIPAA. So these are the things that you need to understand based on your application and user base from where they are accessing it. So the thing is, if you want to enforce policy, then you need to understand at what level you can enforce the policy, in terms of it should be on the particular resource group, it should be on particular account or some management group. It's all depend on your organization requirement. Then you can think of automation and orchestration as well. Then you can think about where you can use the serverless containers or many database services that will help you to scale the modern application, but also it can help you to save some cost as well. So you need to think and plan everything accordingly when you are migrating to the cloud, because it is the best time to standardize things. Also you can make the changes in your application, make it cloud native, so it will help you well while you are migrating to the cloud. So you can use some APIs, microservices wherever it is applicable for your environment. Next, you can divide your migration to the phases, like you can start with the pilot migration, then you can divide whole migration into batches, like a small batch you can start, then you can increase the number of resources in the migration. After the migration, it's a must to have some validation and testing that everything you planned it is successful. Then we are having some cutover planning as well. It's not like you just woke up and plan to cut over the environment, existing environment. It's not the right approach. You need to follow all the things, like if everything is working well with after the migration or not, or you need to roll back the things. It can be possible anything, right? So that you need to consider after migration. Always focus on monitoring and optimization. And when you are representing your migration performance in front of stakeholder, in front of client, it should be in some numbers, like how much cost you are saving, how much faster it will be your migration, how much uptime you are going to give to your customers. Okay, so these are the things which these numbers will help you to impress your customers. Okay, so that's why you need to learn about that thing. And also you need to understand the migration challenges as well. So in the last, you need to think about the cloud migration security best practices, like you need to scan your environment, you need to implement IDS system wherever possible, you need to do the security audits as well. So your cloud migration should be future proof. So wherever it is required, you should use AI, ML, serverless. That means the latest technologies which we are having in the market. So in the end, we are going to complete this migration, and these are the factors while you are going to perform the migration. So I hope this guide will help you. So you can find the link in the description box. You can go through, take your time, understand each and every aspect that will help you to understand your end-to-end cloud migration. Okay, it's not the technical aspect, it's the high level understanding, because once you have the understanding, then only you will understand what tools will help you for such migration. Thank you for watching. See you in next video with more learning content.